You want to know what's funny? Not the kind of funny that makes you laugh. No, the kind that twists your gut. The kind that makes you realize how broken everything really is. That's the joke. That's the punchline. Life isn't fair. It isn't kind. It doesn't care about your dreams, your morals, your little rules. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you stop pretending, the sooner you can really live. Let me tell you something about pain. You run from it. You hide from it. You numb it with distractions, money, success, love, whatever little lies you tell yourself to make it through the day. But pain is the truth. Pain is the only thing that's real. And the Joker, he knows that better than anyone. He doesn't run. He doesn't hide. He embraces it. He laughs at it. Because when you stop fearing the pain, when you stop letting it control you, that's when you become something more. Think about it. Every great villain, every force of chaos, every man who ever shook the world, they didn't do it because they were happy. They did it because they were in pain. Because the world hurt them, broke them, left them with nothing but the raw, jagged edges of their own mind. And instead of begging for mercy, instead of crawling back into the light, they took that pain and they turned it into power. That's the Joker's secret. That's his motivation. He's not insane. He's the only one who sees the world for what it really is. A cruel, meaningless joke. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You ever notice how people cling to their little routines, their jobs, their families, their morals, like any of it actually matters, like there's some grand plan, some higher purpose? But there isn't. It's all just noise, just chaos dressed up in a suit and tie, pretending to be order. The Joker doesn't pretend. He doesn't play by the rules because the rules are the biggest lie of all. They're there to keep you in line, to keep you docile, to make you think you're safe. But you're not. None of us are. The second things go wrong, the second the mask slips, you see it. The panic, the fear, the animal underneath. That's the real you. That's the truth. So why not embrace it? Why not stop fighting? You think Batman's the hero, the symbol of justice? Number, he's just another freak, clinging to his own delusions, thinking he can fix something that was never whole to begin with. The Joker, he doesn't want to fix it. He wants to burn it down. He wants to show everyone how fragile their little world really is. Because that's freedom. That's power. When you stop caring about the rules, about the consequences, about what happens next, that's when you're truly alive. You want motivation? Fine. Here it is. Stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you're not angry, that you're not hurt, that you don't want to watch it all crumble. You do. Everyone does. They're just too scared to admit it. The Joker isn't scared. He doesn't just admit it. He revels in it. He takes the pain, the madness, the chaos, and he wears it like a crown. Because in a world where nothing matters, the only thing left is to make your own meaning. And his is the punchline. So ask yourself, what's your pain? What's the thing that keeps you up at night? The thing that makes your hands shake? The thing you're too afraid to face? Now imagine holding it, smiling at it, laughing at it. Because that's the joke. That's the whole damn joke. The moment you stop running, the moment you turn around and say, "Is that all you've got?" That's the moment you win. The Joker doesn't win because he's stronger. He doesn't win because he's smarter. He wins because he's the only one with the guts to look the world in the eye and say, "No, no to the rules. No to the lies. No to the idea that any of this means anything." And in that no, he finds something better than meaning. He finds freedom. So go ahead, keep pretending, keep playing the game. Or you could do something fun. You could take that pain, that anger, that darkness, and you could let it out. Not in whispers, not in secrets, in laughter, in fire, in chaos. Because the world's already burning. Why shouldn't you be the one holding the match? And that's the joke. That's always been the joke. You just didn't get it until now. But let's go deeper. Let's peel back the layers. Because the Joker isn't just a character. He's a mirror. He's the reflection of everything society tries to bury. Everything you try to ignore. You wake up every day. You put on your mask. You play your part. And for what? To earn a few more scraps from a system that doesn't care if you live or die. To chase approval from people who turn on you the second it benefits them? That's not living. That's surviving. And survival is for prey. The Joker, he's not prey. He's the predator, not because he's stronger, but because he's free. Free from the chains of expectation. Free from the fear of judgment. Free from the pathetic need to be understood. You think he cares if people call him a monster. You think it keeps him up at night, wondering if he's the bad guy number, because he knows the truth. There are no bad guys. There are no good guys. There's just power, and those too weak to take it. Look at history. Look at the world. The greatest atrocities weren't committed by madmen in clown makeup. They were committed by men in suits. Men with titles, men who hid behind laws and flags and moral superiority. At least the Joker's honest. At least he admits what he is. Can you say the same? Can any of us? Or are we all just lying to ourselves, pretending we're better? Pretending we're different? Pretending we're not one bad day away from becoming exactly like him? That's the real horror, isn't it? The realization that the Joker isn't some alien force of evil. He's human. He's what happens when a human being stops denying the darkness inside. And that darkness, it's in you too. In all of us. The only difference is, he stopped fighting it. He stopped pretending it wasn't there. And that's why he's powerful. Not because of his strength, not because of his intelligence, but because of his acceptance. You want to know how to embrace the pain. Stop calling it pain. Call it power. Call it truth. Call it the fire that burns away everything false, everything weak, everything holding you back. The Joker didn't become the Joker because he was broken. He became the Joker because he realized being broken was the only honest way to live. And in a world built on lies, honesty is the most dangerous thing of all. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to keep clinging to your chains, begging for a mercy that'll never come? Or are you going to do what the Joker did? Look into the abyss, see your own reflection staring back and laugh? Because that's the choice. That's always been the choice. And the joke's on you if you think there's a third option. The world's a stage, and everyone's playing their part. The heroes, the villains, the bystanders, all trapped in the same script, all too afraid to improvise. But the Joker, he's the wild card. He's the one who tore up the script and set it on fire. And in that fire, he found something no one else has. The freedom to be exactly who he is. No apologies, no regrets, no fear. That's the lesson. That's the dark motivation. Not to become him, but to understand him. To see that the only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing. To realize that the pain you've been running from is the one thing that can set you free. The Joker's not a role model, he's a warning. A warning of what happens when a man stops lying to himself. And maybe, just maybe, that's the scariest thing of all. Because deep down, in the parts of yourself you're too afraid to acknowledge, you know he's right. You know the world's a joke. You know the rules are a scam. You know the only reason you haven't laughed yet is because you're still afraid of what it means if you do. But here's the thing about fear. It only has power if you let it. The Joker let go. And in that letting go, he found something no amount of money, no amount of power, no amount of validation could ever give him. He found himself. The real question is, when are you going to do the same?